Today on Judge Faith, a chef's promise for a dream wedding dinner leaves a very bitter taste.
Well, I'm not a caterer at all. To start out with, I am a private chef.
I find that very interesting since his business card said Big Rob's Catering.
They only get one shot at their wedding, and it is your job to make it right the very first time.
And this tenant says her landlord's negligence made her sick.
And I told him, I said, Chuck, I'm trying to live in your apartment, but this not working out, because you don't want to do nothing. You're a slum landlord, and you got all my money, and I just moved in here.
I'm a right now type of person. If there's an issue, you call me, I'm Johnny on the spot. If I would have known about it then...
Show me proof that the leaks were fixed.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiffs Leslie Carmen and Russell Carmen are suing the chef they hired for Russell's wedding to refund half of the catering fee. Defendant Robert Lynn says, according to his contract, he owes no refund.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is Carmen and Carmen versus Lynn.
Thank you, Barbara. Leslie Carmen and Russell Carmen?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant who was a caterer at your wedding, sir?
That's correct.
Go ahead, what happened?
My son and precious daughter-in-law decided to finally get married after being engaged for a long time. And I had known...
Thank you, everyone.
I had been to a little venue south of Houston for a previous event, and it was a beautiful venue, and the food was fabulous. And so I approached the owner about us possibly having the reception at this venue. And at the time I approached her, she said, "Oh, I know this young and upcoming chef, and you will be so happy." And so we made arrangements, and we met with Chef Rob. He just talked about how wonderful his food was and how what a great chef he was and how happy we were gonna be. And my husband and I went because they were paying for their wedding themselves, and we offered as their mother and father to pay for the reception.
Okay, got it.
To help
so you
them.
hired the defendant?
Yes, I hired the defendant.
How long have you been in the catering business?
Well, I'm not a caterer at all. To start out with, I am a private chef. There's a difference between catering, which is unfortunately just a bunch of reheating and serving food. I come in and I try to prepare a nice meal for people and try to give them something that they can be proud of.
How long have you been a chef?
I've been a chef for 2 years now. I've been working in the food industry for 10 years.
I find that very interesting since his business card said Big Rob's Catering.
Well, I carry the business cards for my company.
But you have catering on your business card?
No, ma'am.
We met with him on that night. I gave him a non-refundable deposit on the night that we met with him.
Was that prior to you having a tasting?
Yes, ma'am.
In hindsight, that probably wasn't a good idea, right?
No, ma'am, that was not a good idea at all.
So what kind of food did you ultimately decide to have at the wedding?
We did ultimately decide on the Mexican food, but that was after a failed tasting of a pasta dish that he had played up about how wonderful it was.
So you tried the pasta and didn't like it?
Oh, no, ma'am. And come to find out, he didn't even make the pasta for the tasting. He was too busy, and a friend of his made the pasta.
So I'm just curious, why did you go forward and continue to hire him and use his services if you didn't like the pasta?
Because I had $450.
And that was
We're not
non-refundable?
rich. Yes, it absolutely was placed on the one referral.
Do you have a copy of the contract that you
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Let me see it. So you ultimately decided to have Mexican food at the wedding. Tell me about the tasting.
After we had the initial tasting with the Italian option, my wife and I were extremely underwhelmed, but we decided, well, we're in for this $400. Let's see what other options might be available. So Chef Rob kindly offered to have a second tasting for us.
No, I beg your pardon.
At an additional cost of $135.
What happened at the tasting?
He came over to my place, prepared the meal, and Your Honor, it was fantastic.
Who drafted this contract?
Me. I did, Your Honor.
At the top of the contract, it says Rob's Event Catering.
Thank you.
I mean, I think you might be confused about what you do.
It was a contract that I had previously used with the same event. And so at that point, I was working with another chef, or my chef, and he said, well, we need to change you up because this is not what you do.
Okay, so take me to the wedding.
Oh.
So you're at the wedding reception. The wedding has happened, and I assume that everything went well at the ceremony.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
Wonderful. By the way, do you have a picture of you and your bride?
Yes, I do.
Beautiful, wonderful, very nice. You get to the wedding reception, what happens with the food?
Well, we have a cocktail hour. I have since found out from our guests that they were out on the portico for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes before any food was even produced for the cocktail hour. They had just come from having their pictures done, had not been out to the cocktail hour very long, and the venue owner came and said he's plating the food. And I said, okay, you know, let's go. And so I hurried everybody in. We sat down. After a few minutes, a waiter dressed in blue jeans and a shirt at a nighttime wedding started bringing food out.
Had you discussed with the defendant what the servers were going to wear?
No, we
Not
didn't.
at all.
I assumed that a nighttime formal wedding with long dresses and that the staff would come dressed appropriately for that
Did you think it was
event.
appropriate for them to wear jeans?
Yes, ma'am, I did. When you're outside Houston, Texas, this is what we wear. I'm wearing the same thing today as I wore that evening, besides the fact that I was wearing a chef coat.
Well, but it's not your wedding. Why didn't you go to the plaintiff and say, is it okay if we wear jeans to
I
this
did
evening
in
event?
the first meeting, ma'am.
No.
I said, this is what I wear. This is what I will be wearing.
I mean, you're lucky you didn't run into a bridezilla, because I can tell you right now.
Well, we didn't.
I would have told
ma'am,
you to go back home
we
and
didn't
change.
run into a bridezilla. We ran into a mother-in-law.
Who wrote the check to you? Mother-in-law.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
This is the dinner that when I was giving them their tasting.
And is this how the entree looked at the wedding?
We did our very best to replicate what we had done at the tasting.
And later, it's a gas-tastrophe in her new apartment.
The city called the fire department. By the time they got there, I didn't know they had called them. I was laying on the floor, and they was beating on the door. I couldn't get to them. The gas had got
Because you
to
weren't
me.
feeling well?
Right.
The leaks was fixed within 24 hours.
Plaintiffs Leslie Carmen and her son Russell are suing for a partial refund on the cost of Russell's wedding reception dinner. Defendant Robert Lynn says not a chance.
Let's look at the photo.
This is the dinner that when I was giving them their tasting. So I have the carne asada.
And is this how the entree looked at the wedding?
We did our very best to replicate what we had done at the tasting. What is the laughter for? Have you ever worked in the kitchen before?
Because you're sounding sketchy. That's what the laughter's for. Let's go to the next photo. Okay, so what is this?
So this is what we brought as the food.
This is what we were served and was served to our guests.
Are you saying, sir, that
I was not
this
proud of that photo.
dish...
I'm not proud of that plate. No, ma'am.
Oh, so you're not proud of it?
No, ma'am.
So you know you didn't do a good job.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
They only get one shot at their wedding, their first wedding, and it is your job to make it right the very first time.
Yes, ma'am.
And so for you to come in here and tell me that you're not proud of the job you did, but you won't refund their money, why? Why won't you refund their money?
I followed my contract. It states that they do not have time until if there's a payment made, they have 24 hours within that payment to make a complaint.
Your Honor, at the end of the wedding, we were offered the remaining portions of the food.
Do you have a letter from the catering hall?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I have a notarized letter from the catering hall.
May I see that,
I
please?
also, Your Honor, of the remaining portions that he sent home with us, I put some of the remaining portions of meat that we were served that night in my freezer, and I brought it with me from Texas today.
You brought meat?
That's against health code, just saying.
What is that exactly?
This is beef fajita meat from our son's wedding. You can plainly see that that does not look anything like what was shown in the tasting photos.
I'm sorry, how can you bring stuff from how far back? From your freezer?
Ms. Carmen, the wedding is over, and I understand that you paid him the remainder of the balance due after the wedding. Why did you do that?
Unfortunately, yes, Your Honor, I did.
Why did you do that if you were so unsatisfied with his service?
Because it was my son's day and my daughter-in-law's day. I just was going to pay him and let things go. On Sunday, I really thought about it. On Sunday evening, I finally had a chance to sit down and talk with my son and daughter-in-law and found out how disappointed my daughter-in-law was. I called the bank on Monday morning to stop payment on the check, and Rob had already presented the check to the bank, or I would have stopped payment on the check, and then we would be in a different situation. I immediately sent him an email outlining all of my complaints, what the poor service, the service was deplorable.
And what was your response to that, sir, about
I contacted the
service?
person that I had the contract with, which was her son.
Why didn't you return her message or her phone call?
Because I deal with the people I have the contract with.
No, not the people who write you the check?
No, ma'am, it's the person that I have, in the state of Texas,
You are
deal
so
with
arrogant. I mean, you are absolutely arrogant. I am floored by this because she is writing your check. She is paying you, and you won't even have the respect to return her phone call?
Your Honor.
Unbelievable. Hold on a second. Let me just read this letter from the
Owner,
venue.
she suggested that I request a full refund from him.
She recommended you to them. She put her reputation on the line, and she slams you. She does not have a dog in this fight. No, you cannot respond. Frankly, the only response I think you should have at this point is an apology to the plaintiff and his family.
It won't happen.
It may not happen, but you're going to pay them their money. My judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, $868 plus court costs. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Plaintiff Georgia Johnson is suing her former landlord for a refund of rent, security deposit, and moving expenses. Defendant Chuck Becote says he maintained the apartment and she didn't pay her rent. He is countersuing for defamation of character.
Ms. Johnson, you are suing the defendant, Charles Becote, for the return of your security deposit, rent, and moving expenses for a total of $1,477. And Mr. Becote, you are countersuing for defamation of character for $1,500. We'll start with you, Ms. Johnson. How did you meet the defendant?
Well, first of all, I'll say I relocated March the 1st from Omaha, Nebraska, and I had put my furniture in storage. So his sister-in-law, which we've been friends since 1970. And she said, Charles had an apartment for rent. I said, well, good, because I need a place to stay now to get my furniture out of storage.
You were moving to New York at that time?
I was moving here, yes, and I put my furniture in storage. So I called him, and then we discussed the rent. I asked him how much did he want, because it cost me a lot to move here. So he wanted $700, and I said, well, what about $625? He said, okay. So that was okay.
$650.
Okay, so you're a little bit of a negotiator.
$625.
Did you sign a lease?
No lease. Thank you. Oh, thank you. No lease, because I can leave when I get ready. So anyway, we went to the kitchen. The kitchen cabinets wasn't clean. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute now. What about the kitchen cabinets? Just move in, and then I'll come in and do a little bit at a time.
Okay, and what do you say the agreement was?
Well, what happened was, when she contacted me, I said, you're more than welcome to come see the spot. I was getting ready to rent it anyways. And she's right, I get $700 a month for these apartments. She came, she saw the apartment, she loved the apartment. She got on her cell phone, called her friend, whoever she called, said, yeah, I love it, I want it, and as long as he keep me here, I'm gonna stay here. Okay, so
Had someone lived there prior to her moving in?
And the place wasn't even clean yet.
Tell me about what happened when you found out there was a real issue with the apartment.
Well, I took his word that he was gonna clean it up, do what all he had to do. So I moved in because I wanted to get my furniture out of storage so I wouldn't have to pay that and then pay him. So when I got in there, I gave him like 3 days. The attic, I was falling down in the hole with my heels on, trying to hang my clothes up. So I called him. Every time I found something wrong, I say, Chuck, look, you gotta do something about the attic. Well, my dad's gonna fix this.
Your Honor, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
We didn't know there was issues in the attic until she went up there. What happened was there was a rack up there that she wanted to use to hang her clothes up, and the rack fell. She brought that to my attention, and she brought it to my father's attention also. He fixed it that day, and he fixed the boards that day. I'm a right now type of person. If there's an issue, you call me, I'm Johnny on the spot.
Next on Judge Faith.
I had a birthday party, so I was supposed to cook the macaroni and cheese. That's how I know
That's the day.
the oven didn't work.
Your
When
Honor,
I
that's the day.
tried to cook that macaroni and cheese,
That's the
I left
day.
it on 2 hours. I said, wait a minute, I'm gonna be late for my own party.
Plaintiff Georgia Johnson is suing her former landlord for a refund of security deposit, rent, and moving expenses. Defendant Chuck B. Coates is countersuing for defamation of character.
When did you first suspect that there was some kind of, are you referring to a gas leak?
When I was in his apartment 4 days, I kept getting up sick, and I couldn't breathe. I'm like, wait a minute, something is wrong.
So 4 days of living there.
Right.
You thought you smelled gas. Did you call the city?
No, I called him back.
No, she didn't.
And I told him, I said, Chuck, I'm trying to live in your apartment, but this not working out, because you don't want to do nothing. You're a slum landlord, and you got all my money, and I just moved in here.
At some point, did you call the city and
Yes,
tell
I
them you
did.
thought you smelled gas?
Right.
Did they come out?
The city called the fire department. By the time they got there, I didn't know they had called them. I was laying on the floor, and they was beating on the door. I couldn't get to them. The gas had got
Because
to
you
me.
weren't feeling well?
Right.
Okay, did the city issue a report? Did they give you any paperwork
They
about
did.
this gas
You have
leak?
a copy. I think you have a copy. It was from the basement, running up to the stove in the kitchen. On my birthday, I had a birthday party, so I was supposed to cook the macaroni and cheese. That's how I know
That's the day.
the oven didn't work.
Your
when
Honor,
I,
that's
when
the
I
day.
tried to cook that macaroni and cheese,
That's the
I left
day.
it on 2 hours. I said, wait a minute, I'm gonna be late for my own party.
That's
The
the
stove,
day.
that's when the gas really came out.
That's the day.
And then the next day, excuse me,
Go ahead.
the next day, that's when I called the city, and then they sent the fire department. I couldn't even, they broke
The next
the door.
day
They
was
hit
Saturday.
the door.
Okay, and so what did you do when she told you she smelled gas?
Okay.
When she called me, okay, we talking May.
And she just
May
moved in
8th,
April.
May 8th, she called me. I was on my way to Pennsylvania. She called me, all right? And she informed me that the fire department was there and RG&E was there. I came right back, okay? And I saw the tags. I saw the red marks downstairs. So I called the gas man that day. The leaks was fixed within 24 hours. If I would have known about
Show
it
me
then,
proof that the leaks were fixed.
They wasn't fixed while I was living there.
It was fixed.
Well, the problem is she lived there for however many days with 6 gas leaks in the unit, and it's your responsibility
Your Honor,
to check and
if
make sure that that's
she
not
never-
happening.
she
She
never-
doesn't have to live with gas leaks,
Your
sir.
Honor,
She doesn't have to.
When the stove didn't work on the 26th, okay, that's the only time that we smelled gas in that apartment because the oven didn't
No,
work.
it was
Okay,
coming through.
and I didn't get contacted by the city
RG&E,
or
the gas
RG
company
by the
came,
gas company
judge.
until the 7th.
So you have
The
a
8th.
certified letter here from, who is this person?
That's my uncle.
It's a family. You know what they ring? Your Honor,
He's
you know
a-
what I told him?
he's a certified gas man.
I say,
He
Chuck,
said certified.
I
You got his
don't
number.
live
You
like
got
this.
his
Do I
number
look
You're
on
gonna
it.
have to do better than
Do
bringing
I
a
look
letter
like
from your
I'm on
uncle to
welfare?
tell
That's
me
what
that
he
you
do.
fixed gas.
That's
Your
his
Honor, look at
business.
my stiletto. Do I look like I'm on welfare?
Your Honor,
No,
I work for the
65
utility
years old.
company, right?
I am 65.
I could have fixed
I'm
it
not
myself.
on welfare.
Sir,
And I can drop it like it's hot at 60. He thought he got a food. He thought he had a food.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
tell me about your counterclaim. What's that about?
Well, after the fact, okay, she started calling family members, telling them that I don't fix anything, that the place is a wreck, okay? And the family function, I come in, people looking at me cross-eyed. I'm like, what's going on? Man, Georgia's spreading all kind of stuff about you. I said, about what? I mean, what's happening?
She told them that there were 6 gas leaks and she had to call the fire department.
The gas leak.
Sir, that's not defamation. She's saving lives.
No, she's saying I'm a slumlord.
She's telling people
That's
there are
defamation.
gas leaks and she
I'm not
doesn't
a
want anyone
slumlord,
else to move into
but
that
I'm
unit.
not a slumlord.
Right.
The gas leaks was fixed.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't want to lease an apartment from you either.
They were fixed the very next day.
No,
Your Honor.
Doesn't matter. You breach. She does not have to live in that apartment anymore. She doesn't have to trust you
city
anymore.
said I had to get out.
She doesn't have to take your word for it. She doesn't have to accept a certified letter from
here's
your
the thing.
uncle that
Here's
is
the thing.
fixed.
My rent is due on the 1st, not the 2nd, and not the 3rd.
And when there is a
If there was
breach,
an
sir,
issue- if there was-
let me explain the law to you in your state. When there is a breach, she has every right to withhold rent. She did the right thing.
But we didn't know until after the fact. So.
You know now, and since you know now, you refund her $1,477 now, and your counterclaim is dismissed.
Oh, yes! Thank you.
Here's Thursday.
It's a woman's world.